Are we live on? Hello everyone and welcome to the Derby Arena here for the quarters and semi-finals of the John Good Group WFA Cup, where you join me on Court A for this Premiership clash, well certainly with the Premiership teams of Aspire and Hull and East Yorkshire, both competing for a spot in the semi-finals this afternoon. The draw will take place at around 12:30. Early attacking pressure from Aspire as Rosie Dack has an attempt, isn't able to make contact. So to go through the teams, starting with the designated home side of Aspire, there Tom Kelly as the designated goalkeeper, Dan McClellan, Brad Bates and Rosie Dack. Hull and East Yorkshire comprised of Joel Rothery, Kai Gill, Luke Brennan and Emma Hodson. The match officials for this one: in the centre, Pete Taylor, with assistance of Pete Westmoreland and Jeff Lewis. All the way back to Joel Rothery in the Hull goal. Rosie Dack has an attempt off the back post. Brad Bates the person to see it over the line. Within the first 2 minutes, Brad Bates
on the live pad. It's definitely public. We've got 28 viewers. Just unplug and plug it back in again.
all the way into the box and bypasses Joel Rothery. Brilliant solo goal from the young England international. Aspire 2, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Dan McClellan, one of two players currently on the court who were present in England's 2023 Fit for Power Chair Football World Cup squad. England and Aspire captain John Balding on the bench for this morning's tie, as Emma Hodson tries to force the ball down into the Aspire half. Substitutes on the bench for Aspire, that of John Balding, Sally McNeil and Jordan Williams, as Brad Bates flicks it across the box. Dan McClellan can't quite make contact, and it goes out for a Hull and East Yorkshire ball. With them absentees for Hull and East Yorkshire, they have no substitutes at their disposal. Aspire, of course, current cup holders, having beat Newcastle 2-0 in the highly coveted FA Disability Cup Weekend Power Chair final, played at St George's Park, televised on TNT Sports. That's what's on offer here today for two teams. Dan McClellan puts some pressure on Luke Brennan, trying to scoop it off of McClellan. Has to be careful. Good distribution from Tom Kelly. Opens up the court. Rosie Dack takes it in reverse. Flicks it across the box, just in front of Dan McClellan's bumper. Live on Court B, we have West Bromwich Albion taking on Muscle Warriors. Brennan. Traps down McClellan. Good distribution from Tom Kelly. Something to observe across today's actions, certainly in this game, and if Aspire are to progress to the semi-finals in that as well. Kelly, back to Brad Bates. Brilliant distribution, a crucial clearance from Kai Gill. So Brad Bates, current Premiership top goal scorer. I think he has 18 goals to his name in the top flight of power chair football. Really having a special season. Not just the goals that he produces, but the creativity and the assists that he provides to his teammates. Just to put Cole Simpson's absence into a little bit of context, Rosie Dack tries to have a go at goal. Joel Rothery clears initially. Cole Simpson was the 22-23 Championship Player of the Year, current member of the National Emergent Talent Programme, so really highly regarded in the England pathway. Such a crucial player for Hull and East Yorkshire, being only four-a-siders. Brad Bates attempts an effort at goal, and Rosie Dack sees it off the right-hand post. 3-0. 6.5 minutes gone. As I was saying, unlike mainstream running football, having only 4 players on the court at any one time, missing 1 or 2 players can be 25 or 50% of your team respectively. So a huge miss for them. Next up on Court A, we will have West Bromwich Albion Throstles versus Leeds Chariots, an all Premiership matchup once again. And then spots in the final are so coveted across our Premiership and Championship teams. We had a record 27 teams enter the WFA Cup this season, as Rosie Dack tries to squeeze it in that inside post. Good positioning from Kai Gill. Dack, corner ball. The second quarter-final on Court B, a brilliant game between Newcastle United Foundation and Teesside. Dack into the box. Brad Bates tries to guide it over to Dan McClellan on the right-hand wing. 2-on-1 in favour of Hull and East Yorkshire. Immediately intercepted by Dan McClellan. Dack. McClellan over to Bates. Nice passing work from the Cup champions. And he guides it behind Kai Gill in the Hull and East Yorkshire box. Another brilliantly worked goal. Brad Bates, the goal scorer. Rosie Dack, the provider. Aspire 4, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Talking about Cole Simpson being the Championship Player of the Year last season. John Balding was the Premiership Player of the Year. Dan McClellan, the Young Player of the Year. Just shows how much quality they have. Dan tries to weave his way around Luke Brennan. Met by Emma Hodson. Going to try and guide it over to Brad Bates on the right-hand wing. Dan McClellan lets that go. Dack forces the ball into the Hull and East Yorkshire box and can't quite make connection on the follow-up effort. When these sides met in the Premiership just a few weeks ago, 2nd of March, Aspire were 7-0 winners. and their route to this quarter-final stage of the WFA Cup. Aspire beat Villa Rockets by 3-0. Hull and East Yorkshire secured a 1-0 victory over Sale United. Once again, immediately intercepted, and Brad Bates is going to guide that over the line. Hull and East Yorkshire having real difficulty breaking that persistent press of Aspire. Aspire 5, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Still 9.5 minutes to be played of this first half. Going to get our first substitution of the game, which will see Jordan Williams enter the court. Brad Bates coming off. Kelly into McClellan, over to Jordan Williams on the right. His first involvement is a good one. Good passing, pick off from Jordan Williams, puts it into the path of Dan McClellan. And in doing so, 3 Aspire players were in a very condensed space in that final third. Our referee, Pete Taylor, awards a 2-on-1 in favour of Hull and East Yorkshire. Aspire currently top of the Premiership. Hull and East Yorkshire rooted to the bottom as present. Williams. McClellan in space on the edge. McClellan. Back to Kelly. Can't quite get the connection, so Luke Brennan intercepts. Emma Hodson very advanced, hoping her team can break on the counter. Rosie Dack across the box. Dan McClellan cleared initially by Joe Rothery, but the danger still present as Jordan Williams at the back post, just wide of the right-hand post. Jordan Williams with responsibility of this corner kick. Dan McClellan over to Rosie Dack. Back to McClellan in the centre. Relentless attacking pressure from Aspire in search of their 6th. Once again, have to be considerate of that. 2-on-1 awarded in favour of Hull and East Yorkshire. That's the 3rd or 4th time this game. Have to keep 3 metres. Rosie Dack once again capitalising on them fairly weak goal kicks. McClellan out of play for a goal kick. Joel Rothery. See, there's no real options for Rothery to pick out. McClellan ready to pounce almost immediately. I think he jumped the gun a little bit on that occasion, so it will be retaken. Jordan Williams this time trying to capitalise. McClellan has the confidence to pass it back to Kelly, one of the leading goalkeepers and defensive players in the country. Williams. Just off the back of Emma Hodson's chair. Out for a goal kick. That's better. Our second substitute of the game sees Dan McClellan come off. Sally McNeil, the player entering. Dak. No one there to receive the pass in the centre. Potential break, very high line adopted by Aspire. Emma Hodson is able to bypass Tom Kelly. It's almost certainly a goal scoring opportunity on offer. Excessive force as deemed by our central referee Pete Taylor. Emma Hodson a little bit overzealous in that attempt to dispossess the ball. Tom Kelly to take. Into Jordan Williams, has to be careful there. Emma Hodson trying to capitalise, a little bit too much pace for her to keep it in. But Hull and East Yorkshire come away with the kick in. 3 minutes to go of this first half. Spire 5, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Certainly been better the latter half for Hull and East Yorkshire. Just started to contain Aspire a little bit better. Rosie Dack now with possession, does brilliantly to keep it in. She's going to guide it over to Jordan Williams in the centre, closely marked by Luke Brennan. Dack across the face of goal. Kai Gill with a crucial clearance initially. Jordan Williams still with the ball, all the way out of play for an Aspire kick-in. Kelly. Brilliant interception by Luke Brennan, but even better positioning by Jordan Williams to just put his chair in a place which prevented Luke Brennan keeping that ball in play. Good game management. Dak. Great ball. Cleared by Kai Gill. Williams controls. Distributes back to Sally McNeil. Off the back of Joel Rothery's chair. Kelly. Diagonal ball. Intercepted by Emma Hodson. Approaching the final minute of this first half in the quarter-final between Aspire and Hull and East Yorkshire. Williams into Sally McNeil, across the face of goal. Rosie Dack just can't orientate in a manner that guides it goal bound, out of play for a goal kick. Good opportunity nonetheless, as it looks almost certain that Aspire will be present in this afternoon's semi-final. They'll want to take as much momentum as possible. Still some really big teams left in the WFA Cup, the John Good Group WFA Cup. Quarter-finals following this, as mentioned, Throssell's Leeds Chariots on pitch A, Newcastle United Foundation and Teesside on court B. Following that, we'll have a short lunch break and the semi-final draw before semi-finals at 1:45 and 3 p.m. Both will be played on this court. Jordan Williams, 10 seconds remaining, over to Sally McNeil, and that's going to be an own goal if Joel Rothery can't adjust. He does so brilliantly. Danger still very much present via Jordan Williams. Cleared by Joel Rothery. Sally McNeil prevents it from reaching Emma Hodson. Now we're into any additional time that Pete Taylor has accrued across this first 20 minutes. Just a ricochet off Joel Rothery's chair. Out for an Aspire kick in. And that signals the half-time break. Aspire 5, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. You can join me shortly for the second half. Have Rosie Dack, who looks like she'll be operating in the centre, just distributes it out to Sally McNeil, attempts an effort at goal, cleared by Joel Rothery. On the other wing is that of Jordan Williams. Options on the bench, John Balding, Dan McClellan and Brad Bate, an All England substitute bench. Very impressive depth across their squad for Hull and East Yorkshire. Joel Rothery, the designated goalkeeper. Kai Gill, Luke Brennan and Emma Hodson. No substitutes on the bench for the North East side. Rosie Dack with responsibility of this kick-in. Across the box, Joel Rothery clears. Williams, McNeil, cleared by Luke Brennan. Tom Kelly called into defensive duties for the first time in this second half. Our match officials, Pete Taylor in the centre, assistants on either side, that of Pete Westmoreland and Jeff Lewis. Kelly. Emma Hodson just misplaced that approach, so it goes all the way to Sally McNeil in this bottom right hand corner. For those tuning in, we are present at the Derby Arena for this John Good Group quarter and semi-final stage of our prestigious WFA Cup. We've got 2 rounds of quarter-finals this morning before the semi-final draw scheduled for 12:30. We're delayed slightly, so that may shift back. And then we've got semi-final 1 and 2 at 1:45 and 3 p.m. respectively. Today will determine our finalists who will be present at the Power Chair final as part of the FA Disability Cup weekend, and I believe that's set to take place on June 30th, Sunday, June 30th, of course, at St George's Park, and is televised on TNT Sports. One of the most coveted appearances and opportunities for this team. Last year, Aspire were the victors, beating Newcastle by 2-0. Can we have someone different this year? Will Aspire go all the way once again in such dominant form recently? Secured their South East Regional League last season and the National League Premiership to add to that WFA Cup win in June. Both Aspire and West Brom will travel to Paris to compete in the EPFA Champions Cup, the Champions League equivalent for Power Chair football. Worth noting that no English team has ever been successful on the European stage, so we're hoping one of our 2 representatives can go to Paris and bring home that highly regarded and much anticipated trophy. The only thing that evades both Aspire and West Brom in their trophy cabinets is that European Club Championship. Luke Brennan down to Emma Hodson, just locked up by Jordan Williams. It remains Aspire 5, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Much better from Hull and East Yorkshire. Kelly down to Williams, passes it back to Sally McNeil, rotated spin kick, diagonally placed to Rosie Dack, really expanding the court. I think we're at full-size regulation, something that we're not able to do at our National League venue. This is obviously much more expansive open space than that of the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. The first time we're ever delivering an event here in Derby. We hope this is the first of many. I'm not sure if it's being picked up on the streams, but an elite cycling centre as well. There's a velodrome that surrounds us. Kelly, no one there to receive his pass. Just off the front of Sally McNeil's chair. So yeah, we hope the cyclists around the perimeter aren't too distracting, but it really is a very impressive venue. For those tuning in on our streams, we have in situ in the venue, we have silent disco headsets so people can tune in to the commentary both on Court A and Court B. Currently on Court B, Greg Baxter is commentating on West Bromwich Albion Muscle Warriors, which I believe West Brom have got a considerable goal difference. The following quarter-finals here at the Derby Arena as Rosie Dack just lets it roll. Brilliant pass, too much pace for Sally McNeil to control. Right intent from Aspire, who aren't yet to register a goal in this second half. But our second quarter-finals, both on Court A and Court B, promise to be excellent matchups. Luke Brennan just bypasses Jordan Williams. Rosie Dack just drops off into that top left-hand corner. So Jordan Williams has responsibility of this kick-in. He goes down to the number 26. Across the face of goal, trapped by Kai Gill, out for a corner kick. Attempt by Jordan Williams. Over to Sally McNeil. Cleared initially by Rothery, but the danger still present. Sally McNeil trying to guide it in that right-hand post. Eleven and a half minutes to be played. Kai Gill down the line, just nicks up over Rosie Dack's chair. Hull and East Yorkshire just easing their way up the court. I'm sure they know that this game is out of reach. I'm sure a consolation goal would mean a lot to them. Gill into Brennan, have to be careful there. Gifts possession back to Sally McNeil. Guy Gill just drives across the face of the Aspire number 2, out for a corner kick. Going to get a substitution for Aspire. I think it looks like it's going to be a triple change. Sally McNeil, Rosie Dack and Jordan Williams all leaving the court. What a trio of substitutes. Brad Bates, John Balding and Dan McClellan entering the court as mentioned in the first half, all present in England's World Cup squad that competed back in October, securing the silver medals. Dan McClellan immediately pressures the defensive duo of Hull, and a follow-up effort brilliantly cleared by Joel Rothery. You can already see that increase in tempo and intensity, spearheaded by John Balding. McClellan. Into Brad Bates. Just guided back to McClellan. Fantastic diagonal ball. Bates. Cleared by Kai Gill. Bowled in. Hull and East Yorkshire just looking for that little bit of respite, but Boulding's going to attempt an effort, fired into the side of Joel Rothery's chair. Tom Kelly, very advanced. John Boulding just drops back to assume that most defensive role. They switch back into their usual positions now. Quickly taken by Brad Bates to Tom Kelly. Over to Dan McClellan. Fantastic pass from the Aspire goalkeeper. Once again, absolutely relentless as Dan McClellan squeezes the ball between Gill and Rothery. Absolutely fantastic from them attacking players of Aspire, who score their first goal of the second half. Aspire 6, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. 8.5 minutes left to be played here at the Derby Arena. Brennan into Emma Hodson. Boulding just cushions it into the path of Brad Bates. He will try and weave his way into the box. Dan McClellan can't quite angle his chair to have an attempt himself, so returns the favour to Bates on the right hand wing into the side of Rothery's chair. A fortunate ricochet certainly for Joel Rothery. Could have very easily gone over the line for Aspire's 7th. Aspire have to settle for a corner kick. Bates into Boulding, just wide of the right hand post. Boulding. Bates over to McClellan. Back to Bates on the right. Desperately searching for that 7th goal. And they're going to do just that. It's going to go down as an own goal. Coming off of Kai Gill's chair. Spire 7, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Heavy contact between Brennan and Bates. Bates does brilliantly to just evade that pressure down in that right hand wing, but Boulding's going to attempt an effort at goal. Absolutely fantastic from the Aspire and England captain, who registers his first goal of the game. Brilliantly produced by Brad Bates. Bates into Boulding. Just out of play. Goal kick for Hull and East Yorkshire. Rothery into Brennan. Bates creating them triangles we come to expect for Aspire. They got too close to one another on that occasion. But when John Baldwin operates in that central position, he's so influential and so effective at picking his passes to his wide players. They try and make the court as big as possible. You'll see Brad Bates typically always hugging this right-hand wing. Dan McClellan likewise with the left. Just traps the play, attempts an effort off the front of Joel Rothery's chair. Just under 4 minutes to go. Dan McClellan to Bates. Just collides with the back of his chair, slightly unaware as to the ball's placement. Bates. Into Baldwin. Back to Bates. Exchanging some nice passes on the edge of the Hull and East Yorkshire box. Dan McClellan in space at the back post. Off the front of Kai Gill's chair. Second follow-up effort brilliantly cleared by the Hull captain. Absolutely relentless pressure. They haven't had a moment to relax. All the way back to Tom Kelly. Baldwin to McClellan. Across the box. Bates returns the favour. Just trapped on that left-hand post. Out of play for a corner kick. Taken by McClellan. Over to John Baldwin in the centre. Ushered out of play by Kai Gill. McClellan. Ricochets high over the chair. Out for a kick in. It will be Aspire. Aspire will progress to the semi-final stage of the John Good Group WFA Cup. McClellan. Bates. Brilliant passing and an absolutely fantastic goal, which will surely cap a dominant victory for the holders. Brad Bates and John Baldwin have established such an effective partnership since Brad's move to Aspire from West Bromwich Albion. So we approach the final minute. Aspire 9, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. A difficult game for Hull, as John Baldwin gets it into double digits, squeezes the ball between Kai Gill and Joel Rothery. Dan McClellan with the assist. So scheduled for a 11:30 kickoff on Court A. Hope you can join myself and WFA chairperson Dean Williams for commentary of West Bromwich Albion Throstles and Leeds Chariots as Aspire very late on, looking to make it 11, just off the side of Baldwin's chair. Has to be careful of the two wide players. One thing that will please John Baldwin is the fact that all of these players have contributed to this dominant win, and that signals the game. Aspire 10, Hull and East Yorkshire 0. A brilliant victory for the cup holders. who will be in the hat for the semi-final stage. Next up, Throssels versus Leeds Chariot on Court A. Newcastle United Foundation versus Teesside on Court B. Semi-final draw scheduled for 12:30 before semi-finals at 1:45 and 3 p.m. Hope you can join us for them ones.